Alright, we're going to talk about stairs today. This deck is about 60 or 86 inches high. I'm doing a 4-foot wide stair tread, and it's going to come out 10 inches, and the rise on that is 7 3/4. So you need to do all of your math ahead of time. There's minimums and maximums and all that stuff. It's all in the regulations for your city and also in the IRC guidelines. So there's a lot of tutorials on how to do that, so I'm not going to do that here. What I'm going to do is show you kind of the implementation of how I secured some of this stuff, because it can be a little bit tricky. So first of all, let's take a look at the connection for the stair stringers. So on the back end here, I leg screwed this 2x6 in to extend the depth of the 2x12. This is actually a 2x12 joist that we're using here, although it still wasn't quite long enough. Some people say it is. That's going to depend on the type of rise you're doing on your stairs. In this case, it wasn't quite long enough. And then with that, there are some custom built hangers that you can use for these. Fill in the holes as specified. These are actually joist hanger nails. Probably one of the only places you'll ever use a joist hanger nail, because they're 10D by 1.5 inches. That's what this calls for. Regular 10D nails are meant for the double shear joist hangers that you typically use to hang your joists on your ledger board for your main frame of the deck. There's a couple additional holes here for screws. I haven't filled those in yet, but you can do that, whatever. Most of it's just kind of self-explanatory. After you cut your stringers, I have these boards on the outside, these cedar trim boards, kind of make it a little dressy. I'm going to back up and kind of give you a show of what it looks like. So yeah, it'll cover up all of the pine, all of the pressure treated pine that we see here. This is going to disappear. And as far as connecting the posts, now that's kind of where the big meat of this video should help out quite a bit. I actually through bolted everything. Yes, it was a lot of work, especially lining up all of those holes, but before I put the stair stringers up here, I actually put them all 4 together and then drilled the hole through all 4 of them at once at the same time to make it a little bit easier. It still was a PIA getting those lined up, but it worked. And then I have these couplers right here because I could not find a piece of galvanized threaded rod that was 4 feet wide or longer. So I used a 3-foot piece and an 18-inch piece. It turned out fine. Then the bottom, I did the same exact thing, and that thing runs all the way through. And the reason why this is really important is because there isn't a lot of depth here, because by the time you have your tread depth, you add another inch for your cedar decking that's going to go up here, and you want that to be whatever the rise is consistent with the next one. So in this case it was 7 3/4. That means this is only 6 3/4 inch depth. So your bolts have to bolt into that thing to secure it, so there isn't a lot of meat to hold it on there. So put this piece of 2x12 on the bottom, and then bolt it with 5-inch bolts, 5-inch screws right here, these leg screws, and then bolted it in. And so far it's held up quite nicely. I mean, I can really lean on that thing at the top, and this is going to be cut off. This is actually a 5-foot tall post right here. It's going to be cut off as soon as I get the railing on. But yeah, it's rock solid. I'm actually kind of surprised at how solid that is for given what's holding it together. And that does not go into the ground. That's the other option you can do. You can actually put those into the ground, secure it there with a post. I chose not to. I put my posts back here. That is a 4x4 that goes up and connects right to the stair stringer, bolted through. And then I have a 2x6 holding it up. Now one thing you'll notice, yes, I do have a space there. I cut it incorrectly. So what I have to do is I have to put a shim in there to shim it up, because you want this to be the weight bearing piece of your beam. You can also use a 4x6, that would probably be better. I kind of changed plans and I had the 4x4s already, so I went the 2x4, and you have to make sure this is pressure treated if you're going to sink it into the ground like I did, and then just nail it in there. And this is pressure treated for ground contact, that's why it's brown. Just a little bit different material. That's normal 2x4s are not pressure treated for ground contact, so that's the way to do that. And that's it.